Alright guys, sorry for the wait. I was not only getting a drink, but also upon re-watching some of my streams, I realized that the audio isn't kicking in for a second, so I figured I'd give it a moment to like set everything up. Like maybe I was trying to do my intro too fast or whatever. So just letting you know, like that is what the long pause was for. Um, anyways, let's get to the intro, shall we? Hey, what's up everybody? It's A-Bomb here, and how you guys doing this afternoon? Alrighty then. Alright, so today we're just doing another one of the talks. I decided to start that as like its own little series. I'm just gonna call it Ayo, because it's a little joke from up there at work. Me and my co-workers, and we wanna like get each other's attention for like a joke or whatever. We won't say hey, we won't say names. It'll be like, hey yo. And I don't know why. It wasn't me who started it. It was someone else, and it was one of those things that kind of got passed around. Also, just to let you know, I'm going downstairs to, chill with my puppy while I'm doing this. I would stay up here in game, but my dad's not down there to watch her, for one, and two, I gotta go outside to smoke anyway. But I did want to set everybody up with the nice, like, space background, which I know it's Mass Effect Andromeda, but I have to be on a game to do a live stream up until I hit 50 subscribers, in which case I can do it on my phone. Not trying to push anybody into subscribing, but, if you do want to see something like that, you know what the conditions are. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking for a hat, which, funny enough, I have like 1,000 hats hanging up. This is one of the times I wish I had a camera, which another thing, I kind of want to show you guys the dog, but that can be on another video. I might actually do like a little video after this, in which I do it on like a Facebook Live instead of a YouTube Live. And then I can show like the dog off. But of course, if you're not on my Facebook page, then you won't see the dog anywhere. It's kind of like one of those, hey, be an insider and you can have access to stuff. I hate when I do this. Like, before I leave a room, I'll look and see like if I got everything. And I feel like I almost never have everything, so I'm sitting there picking up 500 things, and then I'm walking downstairs with half my room in my arms because I didn't want to leave most of it behind. I'm probably gonna take my DS's for like entertainment, because I would take my game system, but you know how much of a pain it would be to unhook the PlayStation, carry it downstairs, and like it's a mess down there, because that's my grandpa's little like workspace, so it's got stuff everywhere. It would be near impossible to get the HDMI cord plugged in, and then I'd have to start up the stream from downstairs if I could, because the internet connection's not very great down there, which is odd. It's right next to the Wi-Fi box down there, but for some reason the higher up you go in this house, the better your signal is. But the Wi-Fi box is actually technically down, I wouldn't say in the basement. This house is like 5 stories, and it's on the second story. So, not the basement, but the upper basement. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, baby girl. Give daddy just a second. Go outside and smoke, and then I'll let you out. But there's no one in here to watch you, Miss Puppy. And I know you like trouble. You like to eat things that you're not supposed to eat. I would tell her to speak to you guys, but that's not one of the commands she knows yet. Like when I say she's a puppy, I just got her. I don't know, less than a month ago. It might have been a little over 2 weeks ago I got her. And she's a really good dog. She listens pretty well. And when I got her, she was 11 weeks, which I thought they said 11 months. And like, I was like, okay, she's kind of small for being 11 months. And then my dad said it was 11 weeks. So I'm assuming that was just my bad. Also, I apologize if the audio is like really distorted or even not there right now and it's just a blank screen. Because I am a far distance from my PlayStation. I wouldn't say like I'm halfway across the world or anything, but like I said, this house is 5 stories, and my room is on the 4th story of the house, the 2nd story. So how the house is like you've got the basement, which would be story number 1, and then you got the story I'm on right now, which it has a bathroom, my grandpa's office. It's almost like a living room, but it's not the living room. It's just like a living room. My grandparents call it the family room. Which it also doubles as my dad's bedroom. You figure in a house that has 5 stories that there would be more bedrooms, but apparently that is not the case. Well, to be fair, there are 2 bedrooms that have no people in them, just stuff. Anyways, we're moving on like in the layout of the house. So you go up a story, and that's where you got the kitchen and the living room. And that's about all that's on the 2nd story of the house. Also, that's like, where the front door is and the back door and all that. You could say that's ground level pretty much. And then you've got the 4th story of the house, which is where my bedroom, 2 other bedrooms, and a bathroom are. And then you go up one final story, and that is where my grandparents' bedroom and bathroom are, which I don't know why they don't take a bedroom on a lower story. My grandma has a problem walking up and down the stairs sometimes. I guess not problems, it's not as easy for her as it used to be. And I feel like a room on a lower story of the house would probably do her a little bit of good, because it's just a lot of walking up and down. You gotta walk down and up and down 2 flights of stairs just from like the front door. That's not counting like she does laundry and whatnot, and the washing and drying machine is down in the basement. So she's literally traveling like every story of this house every day. In other news, just, shooting the shit, talking about stuff. Yeah, sorry about the coughing. Wasn't really thinking about that. But anyway, my workplace does this weird thing. They technically have an employee of the month and like a runner-up, but what it really is it's a day crew and a night crew person. And it's basically just kind of like, okay, so usually the day crew person gets like first, and then the night crew person gets the runner up. I've only ever seen one night crew person actually outdo a day crew person. Which, to be fair, I gotta give it to him. He is a really hard worker. Shout out to Jacob Kostlink. I doubt he watches this, but if he does, hi Jacob. Shout out to you. Good job on getting the Employee of the Month. Realistically speaking, not many people in night crew deserve it, but you do. And it's not that I think that they're less qualified. It's just more that, like, for starters, a lot of the people that like actually go in and try to do their job are managers, which means that they're not qualified. So like Tyler Williamson, Jacob Kostlink, me, Callista, there's a couple of people that go in there. They work their tails off at night crew. And we all have gotten runner-up before, except Jacob, he got the actual. But like, I lost out to a girl named Shannon. And I know Shannon, I work with her before on morning crews. I also do some mornings, not as much as night. I would be considered a night crew person moreover. But shout out to Shannon too, because she's a hard worker. She comes in whenever they're short a person and they need somebody. Anytime they ask her to stay over, she stays over. She usually comes in with a pretty, great workplace attitude. She's got her days, but I mean, who doesn't have their days when they come in and they're just not feeling the customer service stuff? Overall, Shannon is a very good shining example of an Employee of the Month. I honestly tried not to work hard enough to get Employee of the Month, because that's the way to get like a bunch of expectations thrown on you. But speaking of expectations, I know you guys are probably like, this guy sucks at Overwatch. Well, I've been working on that. Keep in mind, like, up until I did that video, I hadn't played Overwatch in a long time. I played it a while back. I installed it just to, see what it was all about. I installed a couple games like that, like Battle Royale, because that's what a lot of people play now, is like Battle Royals. So I installed Apex, Fortnite, Paladins, Overwatch. I installed, a bunch of these high up names of Battle Royale games. And Overwatch, I was never much good at to begin with. I'm not gonna lie, like the accent, Tracer's accent, which I believe is actually Australian. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that is an Australian accent. But anyways, the accent did it for me. I wanted to get good with Tracer, but I am not great with abilities. I am better at guns. So Tracer just didn't work for me very well, because my health bar would just melt before I could use my guns, and my abilities would have helped me if I would have thought to use them, but I wasn't even used to a game like Overwatch, so I'm not used to spamming my abilities like that. So I ended up switching from Tracer to Widowmaker for a while, which obviously if you guys have been watching the videos, I'm back on the Widowmaker, but I switched to Widowmaker for a while, and Widowmaker actually wasn't such a bad run. The only problem was I wasn't making appropriate use of the grapple hook. I was making appropriate use of the spider, and the sniper, the assault. I wasn't bad, but that grapple hook can come in clutch. Not only because I was using it for traveling, but when you use it in combat, I have actually gotten much better than I ever was with Widowmaker, because I realized that's a very good way to dodge. Not only does it help you run faster out of the way, but if you use it to propel yourself over something, then you can theoretically throw yourself out of the way of bullets. And if you kind of map out while you're running around the map where, you know, like your health things are, you can play a pretty good Widowmaker. That's what I've been trying to do. But I didn't stick with Widowmaker before because I hadn't gotten, you know, the grapple hook thing down. So I ended up switching to D.Va for a while. And Alien Crow was kind of laughing at me because we used to play in like a group. There was 4 of us. There was me, Alien Crow, Dragon Emperor, and Big Bong. I can't remember what the heck he called himself. Big Bong Boy or something like that. Their real names, I went to school with all of these guys. Their real names are Chance, Marcus, and James, which I'm not going to be a jerk and call out your guys' identities without mine. My name's Tyler. It sucks. I try to go by Clark more because not only does it sound just slightly cooler than Tyler, but like it's also my last name, so it works. And people tell me that I pose like Superman all the time, which I guess I do, but it's more like a thinking thing and less like a pose. I don't know why my hands gravitate to my hips when I'm lost in thought. But that aside, we was all playing a while back, and they was kind of making fun of me for using D.Va because D.Va is like that one character that people use to be a jerk, and I couldn't use her, not like everybody else was. It was helping me, you know, be able to fight alongside the guys, but I wasn't contributing as much as I'd like to. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty stubborn, didn't try a whole lot of other characters after that, because Marcus was on a Paladin's kick at the time, which is Dragon Emperor, by the way. And, you know, we all decided, because Marcus is, you know, he's very adamant when he likes a game, that's what he wants to play. And so we all kind of caved. I had to uninstall Overwatch because I don't have a whole lot of space on my PlayStation. So I uninstalled Overwatch and I got Paladins instead. And at first it kind of just seemed like it was the same game. But it does have its differences. For instance, like death matches are available in Paladins. I love death matches. That's my stuff. I'm a deathmatch person to a T. I'm not a big fan of like moving payloads or anything like that. I am gun in hand, run out, gun down the enemy, straight up like Call of Duty type stuff. But with that game, there was only 2 characters I ever used and got. I wouldn't say I got good with Victor. I can say I got good with Tira. There was a couple of times I topped the leaderboard with Tira. I was top Tira. Man, it's actually taken longer to smoke this than I thought it would. Now I kind of feel bad, because like I could have let Charlotte out and brought her out here with me in the garage, because I can't smoke in the house. So I could have brought her out with me to the garage. But the thing is, it's like she's a puppy. She wants to get into everything. And I'm not exactly the most observant eye in the world, and there's a couple things that she's chewed up, and like I've about lost my heart, cause like it could have choked her to death, and I didn't realize that she had gotten a hold of it. But she keeps like tearing apart these like blankets and stuff, and knotting up the strings, and then she's swallowing like these balls of string, and yeah, I'm for right now, because ever since she coughed up the one, I've been very adamant about, like, I don't want her to go anywhere that I can't see her. And like in the garage, there's just a lot of stuff that she can get under, go behind, and it's just I don't like it. I don't like bringing her out here with me. Plus, good pet owner thing, I'm not getting my dog like blitzed out of her mind. So, it's kind of funny. I actually used to call this series a couple of different things. The first thing I called it, which I ended up changing the name because I didn't want people to not tune in because of the vulgarity in the title, but it was called Shoot the Shit. Because that's all I'm doing in these types of videos. I'm not really making a point. You know, you could avoid this video forever on my channel and not miss a thing, except just a little bit of insight on like A-Bomb's daily life. You know, I try not to say my actual name too much on camera, which I'm pretty sure Alien Crow does, aka Chance. I know I say his name a lot, but to be fair, I'm out of practice with YouTube. The last YouTube videos I was doing was the Shoot the Shit videos. I was at the apartment and I just did it sometimes to get stuff off my chest. There was days that it was inventive and like engaging, and I actually went through to rewatch it because I liked listening to my thought process. And then there were some Shoot the Shit videos that it was like, wow, that was pointless. But it happens sometimes. Sometimes you talk in circles. Sometimes you've got a lot of stuff to hit up on. This is one of the times I feel like I'm doing a little bit of both. I have hit quite a few topics in just the short amount of time that we've been running here. But at the same time, I am more or less running around in circles. There's not really a point to this. There I go talking in circles again. I'm gonna move on to my my next quote-unquote point. In terms of, if you guys are following, the Danganronpa stuff, and you heard about the Doki Danganronpa, you're interested. I did change up a few things. Not a whole lot. I tried to keep the characters central, but Teruteru Hanamura, I went with his original design, not the one that he's using like right now. I'm talking about when he actually used to look like a student of Hope's Peak. You might not even know what he looks like, but he's actually not a bad looking kid. I'm guesstimating that he's a little bit shorter than most guys just by the sprite, but not like that. I mean, he realistically looks like an average dude. His hair is a little bit more kind of like Mondo Awada's and points out. He had a much more like serious, confident face, and he wore a fish around his neck. Also, he didn't wear a chef's outfit either. He was just wearing a regular jacket and shirt, pants. That might be why they changed it, because it was a little hard to buy that this guy was a chef. He looked honestly more like the ultimate fisherman because he had the fish around his neck. But that is the character design that I used for Teruteru, simply because, for starters, I feel like it would make him a little less unlikable. I feel like that's what hurt a lot of his likability, was he just his character design stands out, but not in a good way. It's like a Mineta design. Like, man, honestly, they're kind of the same guy in a sense, which I think I touched up on this in a previous video, but Teru's like pervertedness is toned down, and also I added like a little bit of character depth to it. But I did want to mention that I went with his original design. That way I can make him look a little bit more engaging. Ryo Mahoshi wasn't even like bad. Even though it was a little weird, his character design wasn't bad. Teru's I felt was bad. But another change I made was the Ultimate Imposter did not really seem like a student. Especially like when you figure out what they, because it's gender neutral, what they actually look like. I don't know. It looks more like an adult male to me, but then again, that's just an opinion, and that could be a disguise in of itself. I don't know. I'm assuming that that's, you know, the actual appearance because that's what the, you know, the animation showed, but I didn't create Danganronpa, so I can't say definitively. But yeah, the Ultimate Imposter, I replaced him with a guy called the Ultimate Pilot. I switched Hajime Hinata to another class because he's a reserve corps student. That works into the plot. Because the animation had Ryota Mitrai in the class instead of Hajime, I just went ahead and kept that. So, you know, that class has changed up a little bit. With the first Danganronpa, you know, quote-unquote class, I changed them up only slightly. The big change that I made was Junko Enoshima is not actually a student anymore. Rather, Makuro is in her place, posing as Junko. And not Makoto. Komaru Naegi is the replacement student there. I also added Yuta Asahina to the class, although I can't remember. Oh yeah, to even out the male-female ratio, because Chihiro Fujisaki, I mentioned this before, but I'm forgetting the term, but Chihiro Fujisaki I made canonically female, but identifies as a male. I don't know what the term is, but like, even though that, you know, the Chihiro Fujisaki and Doki Danganronpa will have like female genitals, they will use male pronouns and, you know, the sort. So that, you know, that's a thing. There's also, I got 6 classes in total. There's 2 classes I made up, you know, of my own characters. There's one class that is like Hajime Hinata's class, which is kinda him, plus some characters from the animation, and a few others, you know, that no like original characters though. They're all technically canonical Danganronpa characters, just maybe not this like class canonical. Oh shit. Sorry, that was my controller falling. I accidentally smacked my cord because I don't know why. Even though you guys can't see me, I remember touching up on this on one of my outros actually. Like, I do a salute even though you guys can't see me. As I'm talking, I'm doing hand gestures to like help explain things even though I know you guys can't see me. realistically speaking, I'm not entirely sure you can hear me because of you know, I'm not up there by the TV, so I could be too far away for the audio to be kicking in. Yeah, that took that took a lot longer than I thought it would. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, baby. Hi, daddy girl. Hi, daddy baby girl. Hi, daddy baby girl. Oop. Watch the cord. Watch the cord. No, no. I know you're a jumper, but you can't get that cord. Daddy will not let you. No, he won't. No, he won't. Miss Charlotte. Miss Charlotte. You beautiful baby. You beautiful baby. You beautiful baby girl. Who beautiful baby girl? Who beautiful baby girl? Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Miss Charlotte. You beautiful baby girl. So for those of you, I don't know if I've actually explained this or not on a video. I might have explained it earlier, but she's a chocolate lab and Dalmatian mixed, and she's also a brat. She got more brat in her than anything. Ain't that right? Yeah. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Daddy Charlotte. Yeah, Daddy Charlotte. Daddy Miss Charlotte. Hi, baby. Yeah, this is kind of a new thing for her, because I usually don't get a day off. So, she's not really used to seeing me, like, for long periods of time. And it kind of sucks, because I'd like to spend some more time with her, but I work 5 days a week, somewhere between 8 to 10 hours a day. It's hard to find time sometimes. And you guys might be thinking, well, you know, you find time to do streams. Well, not really. I cut those into usually my sleep schedule. That's why they're usually so late at night. I'm trying to get as much out of life as possible. So I don't mind losing out on a little sleep. But there are nights where, you know, you might have to go a night or two where A-Bomb has to catch up on some sleep. Which I figured out. Scientifically speaking, it is actually impossible to catch up on sleep. But, I don't know. Science can go suck a shroom, because when I'm up for a couple days, I want to sleep for a couple days. Yeah, I don't just sleep one night and I'm like, man, I feel all better. No, I want to sleep a couple of days, and then I get up feeling pretty energized, actually. Well, not a couple of days in a row, but what I mean by sleep a couple of days is basically get off work, take care of the dog, go upstairs, go to bed, get up for work. Don't really do anything else. No watch TV, no like play games. Just kinda do what you have to and rest. Hey, don't eat the carpet. It's bad for your tummy. Why don't you go play with your toys? Why don't you go play with your toys? I don't know where your bone is, but there's that. Come on, get it. Get it, Charlotte. I've got to buy her a new bone eventually. I was waiting until this one ended up getting worn down a little bit more, but I don't particularly know where it's at. I see her ball in the cage, but I don't see the bone. Also, in case you guys didn't notice, this is one quiet dog. I don't know what her deal is, but she hardly ever barks. The only time she really whines is like if I'm standing, because we got gates up around the house, because she's a little bit bigger than the dogs that my grandparents have. There's a Pomeranian and a little Schnauzer, and she's still a puppy, but she's already a little bit bigger than they are. I wouldn't say double their size or anything, but she definitely kind of scares the Schnauzer. The Pomeranian is like a warrior. That dog he's been through just about everything. He's either 14 or 15 years old. He started out being my brother's dog. He'd been through, like, this dog could have an autobiography. I'm telling you, this dog has been through so much. He's not really affected by her because he's been in some pretty, he's been in some fights with some pretty big dogs, and he's actually won a couple of them. He's like a Rey Mysterio kind of dog. But another part of that also could be he's completely blind in one eye by now. He's got something growing in his eye or brain or something like that. I don't know. My grandpa's the one that took him to the vet. He's got something growing, and it won't kill him, but it's definitely taken away his eyesight in one eye. You can actually look in his eye and see whatever is like growing. But he's the champion. He's still going. He's still a happy little boy. They did say that they probably could give him a surgery for it, but given his age, he already had like a very low likelihood of surviving the surgery anyway. So we're just kind of letting him ride out what he's doing right now. It sucks that he's gonna go blind on the one eye, but it is what it is. At almost 14, 15 years old, he's actually doing pretty good. He still jumps. He's still very vocal. That dog has been the most vocal dog I never personally had him, but out of people in my family that have owned pets, he's by far the most vocal dog. Charlotte isn't the quietest. There's one dog that was quieter than her. It was my mom's dog, and his name was Angus. That dog was completely silent. Didn't really bark, didn't growl, didn't whine. He let you know what he was thinking through the looks on his face. That was it. Charlotte whines and she growls sometimes, but she doesn't really bark a whole lot. I think I've only ever heard her bark once, and that was because she got mad at me. I walked upstairs when I first got her, and she started freaking out. She barked at me because I walked around the corner, and all I was doing was making some food. When with the layout of the house, like right now, if I walk up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, walk up 6 steps and walk 3 steps to the left, then I'm in the kitchen. So I didn't go very far from Charlotte at all, but she was all mad about it. And what are you doing back there, baby girl? Come on. You know Daddy don't like you being off on your own. You gotta go potty? You gotta go potty? My dad said that he was gonna let him out before he left, but I don't know if he did. And even if he did, I realistically don't know how long I was outside smoking, so I know this won't reach out there. I'm assuming it's reaching in here, which is why I'm still talking, but I'm not gonna risk it, so I'm gonna put my headphones on top of my Dr. Pepper bottle, and if Dr. Pepper has any medical advice for you, he can let you know. But I will be right back. I'm just taking the dog outside to use the bathroom real quick. How the heck did that happen? Alright, there we go. So, I'm back. Ooh, I showed it. I thought of something to talk about while I was outside. I just had to use the restroom before I brought it up. But so when I was younger, I used to think that I was gonna have enough time to like sit there and watch whatever and like keep up with, whatever show. And so like there's a lot of shows I started and just haven't finished. And there's a handful of them that like, I've kept up with. I caught myself up with. I've actually lost sleep over making sure I caught up on some of these. Just to name a couple, Harley Quinn, My Adventures with Superman, The Devil is a Part-Timer. I'm blanking on any others right now. Those are just some of the ones I watched recently that it just came off the top of my head. But another one that I keep up with, that is the one that I am going to talk about the most right now, is Hazbin Hotel, which it started on YouTube, and I fell in love. The pilot episode had me engaged, and like I was a little disappointed when they was continuing Hell of a Boss on YouTube, but not Hazbin Hotel. And then I figured out that apparently I'm not the only one that loved Hazbin Hotel, because it ended up getting slated to go on to Prime, and it has a 6-episode run that is just amazing. I absolutely love it. And there was one song that I'd heard a remix of just last night. I was laughing my ass off, and it's such a, like, how do I put this? So the song is Poison. If you guys watch Hazbin Hotel, you probably know like the song Poison. Angel Dust song. What are you getting into back there, Charlotte? No. Come on. Go on. Go on. You know I'm about to shut the door, right? There we go. No more whatever you're about to do. I don't know what I think she wants a treat. And I understand where she's coming from, because if she goes outside and she uses the bathroom for me, both of them, both urinates and excremates, then I will give her a treat to give her a reward, because, that's how I potty trained her. And I don't want to just not do it now, because she is being a good girl. And, my grandparents usually give the other dogs like a treat 3 times a day anyway, so I don't mind giving her a treat every once in a while for being a good girl. But, I don't give her a treat if she doesn't go to the bathroom when I take her out. Because I don't want her to just think that, it's going outside and not actually using the restroom. But my dad doesn't do that. When he takes her out and she goes, he just lets her back in and like she's done. And so whenever he takes her out and like I come downstairs, she'll just come out and she'll sit and she'll just wait at my feet because she wants a treat for being a good girl. But I don't want to just give it to her like right out of the blue. I'd like to give it to her like right when she, gets done. And in a way, it kind of makes me want to just, tell my dad to just let me handle taking her out. But on the flip side of that, I also have to think about the fact that, lost my train of thought. When I'm not here, she, if he doesn't take her out, nobody will. So I do have to kind of concede to, like, him taking her out. But, like, earlier, he took her out before he left. And I know that he probably, probably just didn't want to make her wait or whatever, but at the same time, I could have gotten dressed and been down here a lot quicker, but he told me that he was taking her out, so I didn't really bother, like, getting straight up on the gun or whatever. Because I usually do like taking a shower in the morning. Which, you guys might think it's weird, but, I mean, it's not like I treat it like a weird thing. Every once in a while, I do let her take a shower with me, just to get her clean. But, like, I mean, it's not a big deal. She got her little doggy shampoo, and I usually get her all soaked up first. And, cause we got a detachable sprayer, I can just spray her down real quick. And then my showers doesn't usually take very long, because by that point I'm usually all soaked anyway. So then I just gotta apply soap and shampoo, rinse it off, and then I dry us both off and we're done. But I usually only do that when she stinks like real bad, because right now she doesn't smell too bad. But when I first got her, she was using the bathroom in the cage a lot, and then of course nobody would know until the next morning. She'd lay in it or lay near it, and it would she'd just get coated in the smell. Hey, knock it off. And so I used to have to, go and do that. I don't know if my dad actually gave her any food and water this morning. I don't want to give her some and like overdo it, because I don't get paid for 3 days, I think. No. I think it's Tuesday today, actually. I don't have my phone on me at this particular time, but I believe it's Tuesday. So that would mean that I get paid in like 2 days, but we're running low on dog food, and I want to make sure she has enough to last her. But that, if she's hungry, that could be a good part of why she is just kind of walking around. I know King is upstairs going nuts right now, so it might not be just her. There might be something going on. That's odd. I just heard the door, but I didn't hear nobody. I didn't hear nobody pull in. The alarm didn't go off. Because my grandpa's a little nuts about that. He's got security set up here. If someone pulls in, we know. Charlotte. No, I closed it off because Charlotte has been on a little exploring spree, and she's also been on a little chewing up stuff spree, and I don't want those two things. Huh? So I've been trying to block off where she can kind of go for, because I can't keep my eye on her all the time, so I'm trying to keep her where it's pretty easy for me to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, it's a good thing to close some things off. That way, if you want to watch TV or do something, you don't have to, watch everything.
Mm-hmm. I would say Dad did not feed you before you left, because you are just eating away, Miss Girly. It's a good thing that, I thought to look in your bowls, because I was like, there's gotta be a reason I took her out, and, Charlotte's a pretty decisive dog. She goes out, she has to go potty, she'll go potty, and if she doesn't, she'll look at you like you're an idiot. But don't worry, I'll get your water here in a second, Miss Charlotte. Just gotta wait for Grandma to stop using the restroom. And then Daddy's probably gonna get something to eat too, because I haven't eaten today. I actually haven't done much of anything except, I started up the stream and, take care of the dog. I took a shower. But, I didn't really do much. Is he outside?
Yeah, they're outside.
I was gonna say, I've been hearing them bark, but I didn't hear the...
Well, they've been barking at me, letting me know they wanted out. Now they're out, now they're letting me know that...
They went back in. How come you don't talk, Charlotte? You just whine. By the way, if you're curious about her namesake, I did, in fact, actually name her after someone. I named her after Charlotte Flair. I've actually always been kinda big about naming my pets after someone from media. My very first dog was named Scooby because obviously Scooby-Doo is like my favorite, you know, cartoon dog in the world. And then my next dog, I named, which I did not realize that this was a racial insinuation at first, but I named him Bubba after the dude from Forrest Gump, because he was a black lab, and then everybody said like it was racist, and I didn't get it as a kid. Now I kind of do. I didn't. That's not what I was going for, though. I've always named my dogs after someone from media, and Forrest Gump was you know, it was a movie that stuck out to me as a kid. And then my next dog, I named him Blitz, from after Blitzo from Hell of a Boss. And now I've got Charlotte, which is named after Charlotte Flair from wrestling. I also had a cat that I called Garfield, because it was the same colors as Garfield. And I had a cat named Tom and Jerry. And I had a cat named Mayhem, which is, I think, I looked it up. I looked up what Spider-Woman's real name was, and it said something about Mayhem. If that's actually her name, then that is odd, but plausible. That's what I named the cat after. If not, I just named her after Mayhem in general. But that was a very ironic name for the cat, because I called her Mayhem, but that cat was extremely lovable. I have never had such an affectionate cat in my life. Charlotte's actually the second lab that I had, because Bubba was a black lab. Charlotte's a chocolate lab. Scooby, I can't remember what he was mixed with. I know he was part husky, and then he was mixed with something else. The other thing showed more than the husky, but I mean, the eyes. He had husky eyes all day. And then Blitz was a pit bull, which I think he was mixed with a boxer, but that I had no clue. I can't even call Blitz a rescue animal, really. My mom found him on the side of the road, abandoned. He was Ethiopian skinny, covered in, cuts and bruises. I mean, it looked like someone just abused the crap out of this dog and then left him to die. And my mom had thought that it was a dog that she had lost named Angus, and Angus had been gone for about a month and a half, and he's a full-blood pit. And she picked this dog up and she took him home, and I don't know how she managed to get him all the way home and realized, that wasn't Angus, but I realized it right off the bat. I took one look at him and I was like, that's not the right dog. And she said that, she knew that. And to be honest, she said that she was going to have my stepdad, go out back and put it down because it wasn't the right dog, and it, she was going to put it out of its misery. And I was like, I would rather you not do that. I'll take the dog if you're going to, if you don't want it. don't put it down. And so I took him in, and he was really nervous to eat and whatnot. I had to like sit there and kind of like hand feed him, but you know, he was a gentle dog. He didn't really like snap at your fingers or whatever, so I could hand feed him pretty easily. He once he started getting a little bit more energy, that's the name Blitz actually really clicked, because then he was just choo 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 shooting all around the house. And I was like, yeah, I named him right. His full name, he's the only dog that I ever named, was his full name was Blitzkrieg Davidson Clark. And I don't know for sure. I mean, I never really had him tested, and I don't even know if it's medically possible, but I'm pretty sure, like, I have autism. I have high functioning autism though, so it's a little hard to tell. I think that dog had, like, you know, a more severe form of autism. He didn't like voices being raised. Very funny about being touched. He's somewhat alright with me touching him, but not. He's still funny about it, which could be, you know, just PTSD from the abuse. But I don't know. I saw him with acute autism. I find it easy to relate to just a lot of how the dog was acting. As for what kind of cats I had, I have no clue. I never was, you know, it's not that I was never a big fan of cats. I just never got to know a lot of cat, like, you know. I know that Mayhem was a tabby. I think she was mixed with something, but I know for sure she was mostly tabby. Tom, I'm pretty sure he was actually a tomcat, which I don't know if that's actually a breed of cat or not, but I think he was. I just thought of it. Something kind of funny. I could have named him after Talking Tom too, I guess, but I meant to name him after Tom from Tom and Jerry, because he was so gray he almost looked blue, and that's exactly Tom from Tom and Jerry. He was so gray that sometimes he almost looked a little blue. I showed it. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Ooh. That was a fun little trip down memory lane. Not many trips are. Usually I get like the shit trips down memory lane. Now I hear an alarm, which that could be one of two people. My brother said he was coming over at some point today, but he said he'd call first. But now that I think about it, I don't have my phone on me anyway, so even if he did call first, I wouldn't know. And my dad could be coming home. He went to go work on someone's vehicle. It also could be the birds, because we have a bad problem of the sensors are a little too sensitive, and birds like flocking down at the end of the driveway for some reason, and every time they hop around out there or a new bird lands, the alarm will go off. So on like bird days, it's really annoying to have the thing set up, because but I guess it's part of being in the country. I guess there's all kinds of animals out here. There's been deer that's tripped it, and there's sometimes like stuff that trips it that we don't catch. I'm sure it's probably like raccoons, maybe a coyote. I really don't know what all kind of wildlife we have out here. I know we have deer, raccoons, groundhogs. I was gonna say it's not a gopher, but it's something similar. And of course, birds out the freaking ass, because there's a bunch of trees. Also, if you're wondering why my internet connection isn't the greatest in the world, that is probably a big part of it. Is I don't have, like, I don't have a place out in the city or nothing. I live with my grandparents out in BFE, pretty much. You walk out back, there's woods. You look out front, you know, there's a road, but right across the road is a field and then some woods behind it. You look to your left, there's some neighbors kind of a bit far out. You look to your right, there's woods. There's woods pretty much everywhere. I guess I'm gonna go grab my phone real quick, see if anyone got a hold of me. God bless me. Heh. Nobody got a hold of me, but I did just see this thing. I guess Has-Been Hotel hit you know, top ranks in Japan. They hit higher than Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen. I can't really read that one. Something's Love, Pokemon. Something, Beyond Journey's End. Yeah, I really need to get my eyes checked. Basically, it outdid a bunch of anime. In addition to, it outdid a bunch of digital originals. It also was top 10 on that. Number 1. And also, I found a cute little picture. Someone drew the characters of B3. Or not all the characters, just the girls. Honestly, the Angie looks so cute. And Angie Naga wasn't even my favorite character from B3. I mean, she wasn't bad, but I can't say that, like, I was... Put it to you this way. The third trial and the third game wasn't as emotional for me as it was in the other two games. In the other two games, I lost 2 people per trial that I loved the characters. V3, you got one character I couldn't really stand, which was the killer. One character that it was really hard for me to like because I'm a degenerate male. And one character that I was like, I kinda like her, but then when she died, it was like, okay. And Bye-bye. Out of all the trials, actually, that is the only one that doesn't really like hit personally on you know, favorite characters being killed in V3. Trial 1, I lost Kaede, lost Rantaru, and Rantaru didn't even get a whole lot of screen time, but man, I love that dude. Trial 2, I lost Kurumi, and I actually kind of did like Ryoma a little bit. When I figured out he died, I kind of like, I was like, I seen that coming, but I did care a little bit. And then third trial was like non-emotional, and then fourth trial it was like, oh no, the sex appeal girl died, and then the most awesome character that has ever been made by Danganronpa, besides Ibuki Miyoda, was also killed. Dead girl. You gotta quit that biting stuff. No. Well, you can go play with your sock, just no biting. No. No. Anyway, and then of course you move on to the final trial, which I don't know. I was heads or tails with Kokichi. I liked him in some ways, and I didn't in others. But Kaito, like, I don't know. I loved that dude, and I don't know. It was almost sadder that he died mid-execution. But in a way, also, I'm kind of glad that he didn't have to, like, suffer the pain of the execution or whatever. He just, you know, he died. I guess I'm gonna do a video on that one of these days. I'm gonna rank the Danganronpa trials based on like how emotional they are. I have been getting a bit on a Danganronpa kick here lately, but that's mostly because I've been working on the fan fiction. And also, I'll probably be talking about Disventure Camp a lot more in a couple of days. Disventure Camp has an episode coming out in 3 days, and that's a YouTube series that I love. It's kind of a rip-off and spin-off of Total Drama at the same time. And what I mean by a spin-off is not a whole lot of characters return. In fact, as far as I know, there's no returning character from Total Drama, but Chris McClane is mentioned. In fact, he's mentioned quite a few times in Season 2. He hasn't been mentioned very much as of Season 3, but I mean, he was talked about a lot in Season 2. And it's revealed that the host of Season 2, Crystal, is actually Crystal McClane, which is Chris McClane's daughter. Which also implies that Disventure Camp takes place sometime after Total Drama, quite possibly quite a few years after. Another thing that I've been kind of looking forward to is WrestleMania, but I am not looking forward to the clash between Karrion Kross and Bobby Lashley, because that was supposed to be Bray Wyatt's storyline. And it's not that I don't like Karrion Kross. I'm pretty sure he was actually supposed to be a member of the Wyatt family. Just given the fact that Braun Strowman, him, Scarlett, and I think someone else all got tattoos of the Firefly. It was Shotzi. My bad, Shotzi. The Firefly from Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. Yeah, it has nothing to do with like Karrion Kross personally. It's the fact that it's harder to take the feud serious with someone like Karrion Kross, who hasn't managed to really like own up to a whole lot of threats he's made. He not as big as Bobby Lashley, doesn't have the reputation. About what he's got is the Authors of Pain, which there's an official match with rules and all that, then that advantage kind of goes out the window anyway. So I don't know. I see it being a bit of a squash match, but I'm hoping that Karrion Kross actually pulls something spectacular out. Because when it comes to being like the dark face of the company, it was Undertaker. That title he tried to pass to Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt passed before he could take up the title. So now the torch falls to Karrion Kross. And that's... You gotta think. Whether you count Bray Wyatt being in the middle or not, those are still some big shoes to fill. Whether he's going from The Undertaker or whether he's going from Bray Wyatt, like... The Undertaker, even though I love Bray to death, The Undertaker's a little bit more bigger shoes to fill. But I mean, Bray, he had his own little following. It was just, Bray's fan base is kind of divided. There's some people who hate him. They don't like his in-ring skill, and they think his creativity is a little out there. And then there's the people who love him for his creativity. And I didn't think he was too bad in the ring. I will say, could have been better. But I've seen worse. And given that he had a good creative, backing to it, it was nice enough to run. It wasn't one of those, he ought to just fall back down to NXT or whatever kind of deals. Speaking of wrestling things, I just read an article recently that it was kind of cool. Roman Reigns acknowledging a cancer survivor. I don't know how much they actually focused on the fact that he was acknowledging her, but the picture, how he was looking right at her, throwing the one up. To me, I haven't had a whole lot of, and I know it's mostly he's playing a heel or whatever, but I haven't had a whole lot of respect for Roman Reigns as of late. But it's more for the reasons that Seth has. It's the fact that Seth is going out there and defending his title constantly. And he's still holding it. That makes him a really good champion. Roman Reigns has plenty of time between his bouts to rest up and all that, meaning that, like, you know, he's not facing the same problems that Seth is. Now, granted, there is a separate way to look at that. Seth is kind of destroying himself. He might be putting himself on his last run if all these injuries that he's taken are like as big as WWE are saying. Like, he might workhorse himself out, you know, out of a job at WWE because he can't fight anymore. And that is a very real possibility when you don't give yourself time to properly rest. But that just kind of brings me to Gunther. Gunther, despite the fact I don't really much care for the guy myself, he's got a very respectable title run. Not as consistently as Seth, but more consistent than Roman. He's given himself time to properly heal and get at his maximum capability before he goes into the match. But at the same time, he's also not showing up like, you know, once every 2-3 pay-per-views. You know, he's out there, he defends his title sometimes on Raw. He does a lot of promos. He, you know, he defends it at pay-per-views. A lot of them. I wouldn't say every pay-per-view, but a lot of them. Gunther, you know, has been retaining his title. And so, Gunther honestly probably has like a comparable title reign to Roman Reigns. The only difference being that Roman Reigns has held it longer than Gunther has. But again, that's kind of subject to you know, time, because Gunther still is the Intercontinental Champion. And much like Roman Reigns, he's already ran through most of the roster. Some of them a couple of times. So at this point, it kind of comes down to, it's going to have to be somebody who's, you know, he's beaten before, or they're going to have to bring up some up-and-coming talent, which I've got my eye on Braun Breaker. You know, you can say what you want about him. My dad's not a big fan of him. I like Braun Breaker. I've got a lot of faith in this guy. I think that we're looking at a future megastar when he walks on the screen. And there's a couple reasons for this. First of all, he's got the body. You know, some people have the body, some people don't. Like, I think a big part of why Mustafa Ali got fired is he didn't have the body. You know, you're looking at this guy, he's scrawny, he's, you know, kind of small compared to the other guys, and he's not as, like, you know, as well built. He don't have six-packs on his six-packs and all that. Austin Theory has the body, but he doesn't really have, like, the gimmick for it. Braun Breaker does. He's got the body and the gimmick. And some people had the body and the gimmick. Zoe Stark being an example. But in-ring capabilities comes next. Zoe Stark, good right now. Could be great in the future. Braun Breaker, great right now. So, again, he's got that going for him. Now he's got, you know, a well-built character. He's got the body. He's got the in-ring capabilities. What more could you ask for? He needs a little bit on the mic. That's about it. If he had LA Knight's, you know, stick on the mic. I don't know why I keep doing the hand gestures. I just did the LA Knight thing. You guys didn't see it. But if he starts getting into that, the promos a little bit more, or maybe he gets a manager, I would like to say that Paul Heyman might manage him, but at the same time, Paul Heyman might be getting ready to retire too. They've been hinting for a while now that Roman Reigns is going to retire and, go into just acting. And he might, come back every once in a while, but it'll probably be more like The Rock. He'll come in, he'll be there for a couple weeks, he'll be gone. But with Paul, that doesn't necessarily mean that Paul's going to retire. But now that he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the guy's, he's getting up there. I wouldn't say he's, too up there to, do it anymore, but Paul Heyman ain't no spring chicken anymore either. And, I don't know. JBL, I haven't seen him since, stuff went down with Baron Corbin. I don't think he's going to be managing anybody anytime soon. MVP, he mostly sticks with brothers. I really can't see him doing anything with Braun Breaker. Plus, he might be representing... Well, no, he's still representing Omos right now, as far as I know, anyway. Which Omos is a bit of a sad tale, in a way. Not because of anything like behind the scenes or whatever, but it's just... He has so much potential, but unlike they're trying to use him like they did Andre, but it's just not gonna work anymore. That was back in the day. You need like an actual story with this guy. Not just, he's big, he's tall, he's scary. If you have to, start off small. Like, I'm talking real small. I'm talking Akira Tozawa small. Akira Tozawa runs into him. Omos, the rage of Omos, you ran into me. Let's do this. Omos goes out and destroys Akira Tozawa. Alright, that was easy. But there's more of the Alpha Academy. Next thing he's got to tackle, Otis. He manages to overpower Otis, one of the biggest wrestlers in the business. Not exactly a big name, but a big man. Then when he beat Chad Gable, he's starting to prove himself as actual competent, as something to be, feared. Moving him on, literally she will and site. Alright, so my controller died. I don't know how much of that you missed. I might leave the stream running for a minute because I will be back eventually, but I also might come up here and shut it off. So I wouldn't stay too invested, but you know, you want to just pop in every once in a while, see if I'm still doing it. You can. If not, it'll probably be ended very shortly. Either way, hopefully I'll be back.